Yo, it's the Insane Game Trick here to bring you Durarara Season 2, Part 2, Episode 11, where we will discuss what happens when you take down a face of a dollar. Apparently, because this episode kind of goes into some stuff and kind of shows how important Kotaka is to the dollars and just people in general. Kotaka is like a stereotypical shonen main character in a sense. He's that nice guy that helps out anybody who's in trouble. And his little following ends up showing up at the hospital worrying about him. But this episode also shows how fucking dangerous it is when you fuck with him. Because Walter and I forgot how you pronounce his name. Togasawa, I think is how you pronounce his name. Both are on their rampages, wherever that means. Walter was ready to burn down the yellow scarves for the fuck of it. Walter's like one of those kids who isn't strong but is devious as fuck. And he was like, man, I'd be ready to be, because he had like a fucking cocktail bomb on him when he was talking to Kita. He's like, I'm gonna trust you, Kita, while I go look for the criminal. And then Erica kind of fleshes it out. It's like, look, Kotaka means a lot to people. And let's be honest here, the only reason why I'm here not looking for the dude who hit him is primarily because when Kotaka wakes up, he needs somebody to tell everybody else that he's up. Because if Walter or Togasawa finds him first, finds whoever did it first, they'll fucking kill him. They will fucking kill him. And Erica even admits to herself, she would probably kill them too. And it kind of just shows you how important he is to everybody. And another part of the town, we get to see the dangerous situation. It's kind of like Shinra foreshadows, because the conversation with him and Celti kind of almost directly leads into the Mikado Aoba shit. And I kind of want to talk about the Aoba stuff for a second, because Aoba, when Mikado's looking through stuff and he's like how he's relieved about how Shizuo was arrested after he quit the dollars and shit like that. This is where Aoba says something about this is how Mikado was broken. Kind of referring to the fact that he, like, when he said, what is he said before, he's like, he's glad Kotaka was kind of in this situation, because that means, because he knows that if Kotaka wasn't, he probably would have tried to stop it. This is relating to the fact that, and I think it's because Aoba doesn't understand what he means by that. He calls him broken, but it's not really broken as much as it's just kind of convenient logic. It's like, look, I know what I'm going to do, and I know that people I'm close to would not agree with what I'm about to do. Therefore, I'm pushing everybody I can away from me, as far as I can away from me, and it allows me to do whatever the fuck and allows me to still do the thing that I know everyone else would disagree with. Because he knows Kotaka wouldn't have put up with that shit. Kotaka would have looked at you and like, no. Absolutely not. Because Mikado had two choices. He could walk away from the dollars, or he could try to save a sinking ship, which is essentially what he's doing. He's trying to save a sinking ship, and you got two people on the boat that's adding in more water while he's like, it's like Mikado's at the top with a bucket, and like the other two are like is a part of the damn ocean. Like they're sharks, ironically. Aoba and Izai are both using the dollars, the sinking ship, as ways to hide their true motives. And then you got someone going around posing as Isaiah, giving out all of Isaiah's information. Although Isaiah doesn't really seem too worried about it, but he's kind of annoyed. Because the way Aoba's doing it, Aoba admitted it that last episode. But the way Isaiah's doing it is just to hide his members. He's literally got like a shit ton of members who are dollars, and they're only really dollars because Isaiah threw them in as dollars. And they're adding to the pollution because they're trying to drive Mikado into a corner, trying to get him to do. I think Isaiah's main goal is still the same. He wants to create a war to see if he can awaken Salty's head. We also find out that Seiji and his sister are part of the fucking Yodogiri family because they're like the niece and nephew, which is an interesting plot point. Because apparently their father is the brother. The point is, they're part of the family line, but they're not the most. I guess they're not the most connected, and they have bad history. Because if I remember right, Yodogiri's whole plan is just to have all the supernatural creatures. They want Celti, they want Rory, I don't think they have like an overarching goal other than to just control shit, primarily supernatural shit. At least that's my assumption. There might be more to it. People will correct me in the comments. But getting back to the Mikado being broken thing, he's not really broken as much as he's just trying to avoid. He's becoming something different. It's like he's willing to kind of throw away his soul for the sake of the greater good. He feels the need to save a, and I understand he's trying to save a ship that he built. He was the main person leading that project. So to watch his ship just sink like that, Mikado ain't about that life. Unfortunately, he's gotten so invested in saving the ship, he's completely warped his mind and principles to the point where I wouldn't call him broken as much as he's obsessed with saving the dollars over everything else. Which is why he's like, well, at least Kyohei won't fuck with me now, and at least Shizuo won't fuck with me now. I'm not so sure about the Shizuo thing. I think the Shizuo thing is kind of still up and down. I don't know if he's happy about him getting arrested because of the convenience of him being out of the way, or because he didn't want the dollar's name attached to Shizuo getting arrested, which would put Shizuo in some more shit. Although it's not like Shizuo fucking struggles at all. And I'm glad people explained to me that Shizuo is friends with Kyohei because Shizuo didn't go to the same high school as Shinra and Izaya, which makes sense. Because it's like, well, how is Shinra and Izaya friends, but Shizuo and Izaya aren't? Well, it's because they didn't go to the same high school. They all know each other. That's the point I'm trying to fucking make. And then you have some interactions with Akabayashi and Izaya pretty much trading, oh, look, Mikado's leader of the dollars. And of course, Izaya doesn't have any problems telling him that, because the whole point is to get a war started. He knows Kita, I don't know how much he knows about Kita coming back, but he knows Kita's around, and Kita's starting up the yellow scars, and Kita's not doing it for dumb reasons. This time, he's primarily doing it to say, well, actually, it's almost the same problem as last time. The difference is that he has no problem. He will break that. He's planning to destroy the dollars to save Mikado. Which creates, from what I heard, a standoff later on. But the point is, Yellow Scarves are back, taking down the dollars, save Mikado. That's all Kita gives a shit about, is saving Mikado. Unfortunately, as Durarara has told us in the past, it's never that fucking simple. And then pretty much the episode kind of ends with Akabayashi jumping in on a secret meeting because Aoba wants Celty to be the face of the dollars, and Celty has a thing against, and Celty apparently has a thing about boys crying, apparently. That's her weak point. I don't get why, but apparently it's her weak point. Now, from what I've heard, there is a line that Celty is supposed to say at a certain point where it's like, what's happened to you, Mikado? Meaning there's something Mikado will eventually end up doing. Because right now, Mikado's been kind of like whatever to me. Like, a lot of people say this is the era of Dark Mikado, but like Dark Mikado, I wouldn't even call this Dark Mikado. This is like more disturbed Mikado than anything. He hasn't really gone ridiculously far out there yet. But I'm assuming there will be a particular event that Celty will say that, and his mood shift will completely change. Like right now, he seems to be in a transitional phase where he's like slightly disturbed, but he still is running with good intentions for the most. Like Mikado still acts like Mikado, except for like a few key scenes. You can see the difference in it. And then you still gotta wonder, well, what is Akabayashi there for? Now we already know why he's probably coming over there. He knows that Henri interacts with Mikado, and he's like, look, don't you get her fucking involved in this shit. Because I will have your head, boy. Like, that's... I already know Akabashi's gonna be like, look, you can do whatever the fuck you want to, but if you get Henri involved, you're done. Which is kind of funny, because Akabashi doesn't know about Henri and Saika to the fullest extent. He knows about... He would recognize... If someone said that Saika, he would recognize it, but he doesn't know, like, the history and the whole shit with Saika. And I'm pretty sure Yodogiri wants Henri too, now that I think about it. So, Henri is already in danger. Which works out that she has a connection to the Akasawa group. And then we obviously have Saika's... the other Saika girl's father snooping around, also looking for help at the Akasawa group, which works out for her. Although it may give away... I'm pretty sure Akabayashi meeting up with him and learning about her will eventually kind of lead back to Henri in some way. But the point is, currently, is that we got some shit going on. Akabayashi's there probably to give Mikado a warning. You get Henri involved and you're a dead man. That's probably what it's going to be. Because there's really not like... Unless he just plans to destroy the leader of the dollars, but there's kind of no reason to do it right now. He knows enough about the dollars to understand that the dollars, even just taking out a member of the dollars, doesn't really do anything. You have to destroy that. You would have to destroy that entire group, and that group is so invaded of other people with different, complete motives and shit that it doesn't even fucking matter. And then we got this dude. Somebody's going around posing as Isaiah. Part of me thinks it's probably Aoba. Aoba's probably posing Isaiah, which is why I find it kind of funny Aoba has such a hatred for Isaiah, even though he's doing literally the same shit Isaiah does. He's hiding in the dollars, just like Isaiah is hiding in the dollars. Except Isaiah is hiding in plain sight versus Aoba, who's just like blatantly hiding. Aoba doesn't ever man up for shit. Like, Aoba seems like one of them bitch niggas that does everything behind a goddamn curtain. Because you can't invade his privacy or some shit. But that's kind of the whole crux of the episode. Akabashi's probably going to leave a threatening-ass warning. Mikado's probably either going to do or say something really fucking reckless. And Sulti's probably going to have the reaction of like, what the fuck has happened to you? Because I heard Mikado's actually way more conniving and devious than people give him credit for. But we haven't really seen that. We've just seen how depraved he's kind of gotten. Where he's willing to set a man on fire. But nothing really too more dramatic than that. And we gotta make sure Kodaka wakes up before Walter goes around and kills somebody. Walker and Tokusawa will kill somebody. And fucking Seiji's sister is in some deep shit, but I don't fucking care for that character, so that doesn't really bother me at all. Like, I have no fucks to give personally about that. So yeah, we still got some shit going on, and I think next week is the last episode of Part 2, and then the Part 3 doesn't come out until next year. So, next week should be fun. I don't know if it's the last episode. It might be 13 instead of 12, but we'll see. Anyways, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. This has been the Insane Game Freak. That's a game. Play to win. I'll catch you guys later in the city of Ikebukuro, where no one ever sleeps. And what you think is normal may actually be abnormal.